record.
Seersucker suit on a hot summer day. Coffee comes back in a nerve-wracking way. The dishes and laundry take the garbage out. What a day, what a day, what a day.
Well, welcome to Capital Region today. I'm so happy you're joining us today, and what a relief. We got some rain. Boy, that was really needed. My lawn was really crunchy. I hope that yours is greening up as well, because mine's doing really well. We have a great lineup today, by the way. We're going to be talking to an entrepreneur from Schenectady that is doing some really interesting things. We're going to hear all about that. Then we're going to hear about the Schenectady School District's Athletic Hall of Fame, and they have some Hall of Famers here today, so we're going to talk about that. And then the Back Porch Players will be with us, and they won't be performing, but we'll hear about them and perhaps how you might like to have them join one of your events. Place for Jazz is coming up. This is their fall concert series, and we're going to be talking about that as well. And that's going to be starting pretty soon. I believe they start up on September 9th, but their space is different. It's going to be at the school, at the college here. And then Schenectady Light Opera will be here, and they're doing Once, which is really, it was a movie, and now it's a musical as well. And I think you'll really enjoy that, but we'll be talking with them as well. We're going to start right out with Ron Suriano. Ron has had a moisture salon for quite a while, but now he's got a new enterprise, and that's Suriano's Deli, an Italian goods.
Specialties, yeah.
Goods.
Yeah.
Hey, good to see you today.
Good seeing you too.
Yeah, so tell me,
Thanks for having me.
wait a minute, where do you get your energy?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Every time I see him on Facebook, it's like he's doing something else, and oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You have your dad helping you?
Yeah, I have my dad helping me, but not only am I opening this, I'm also doing a lot of the construction aspect as well.
Yeah, I know you do. You like to hit that hammer.
Oh yeah, that's why I have it. I have all my.
You got your hammer and you got your.
Get the hammer, the whisk, the scissors.
Yeah, I
so
know.
I
Well,
put all
you
my
got it all there.
talents
So
out
that's so you know what you did.
Yeah,
You put one arm up.
yeah.
Oh, what am I doing
I tell
today?
them what I can do. I can cut you. I can build. I can whisk it. Yeah.
So, okay, well, we're going to first of all mention that you have Moisture Salon,
Yes.
which is designed for curly heads.
So for curly hair people, we've been in business for over 9 years now.
I know, it's been a while. You
Yeah.
were on the first time I think you started, yeah.
Yes, it was. It was. And I was actually in that location where the deli's going, because I ended up buying that building back in 2020.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So now where's the salon in
So the salon right now is on Barrett Street.
On
which is
Barrett.
the next
It's on
block
the- yeah.
over. Yeah, it's just basically identical.
Are you doing barbering as well?
No. I did have that, but I wasn't able to find.
Yeah, you need
staff
people
and
back,
stuff like that.
yeah.
So what I'm doing is actually I'm going to utilize that other retail space to expand the deli into something even bigger. So that whole ground floor is just going to be deli.
Yeah, well, not only that, but you have also a community kitchen too.
Yeah, because that's what I originally wanted to do in that space. Because when I first bought the building, I was under the impression that, it was a workable kitchen. I was going to be able to go
I saw
in
those
there.
photos.
Yeah.
those photos. You wouldn't want to be working in that kitchen.
No. So the city basically was saying, okay, well, now you have to do this, and this. So I was running frantic for the past 2 years trying to figure out what I wanted to do with it. So I first thought of the community kitchen. And that's so that I can actually utilize the back of the building and not have to deal with the front of the building, because if I have to put a bathroom in, I have to do handicap accessible. So it's just a lot of red tape that I was trying to figure out.
Okay, well, let's back up just one bit.
Yeah.
What is a community kitchen?
So
I mean, I know, but people don't.
So we're calling it Everybody's Kitchen. And it is a kitchen that is inspected commercially from the state, that home-based businesses that do not have a brick and mortar can go in.
Like I've got a great soup, and I've gotten it approved, but I don't have the facilities to make it.
And they can come in and use our facilities.
Okay.
So they can either run it by the hour, by the day, however way they want to work it. A lot of these community kitchens are based in, VFW halls, churches,
Right.
other restaurants that limit the hours that vendors and people can actually cook in there, and then they have to always tote everything in and out. So the space in the back of the kitchen is huge enough where I'm going to create storage facilities for them.
Okay, like lockers, large
Locker
lockers.
bins, yeah. so they don't have to keep lugging the stuff back and forth. And it's just going to give them an opportunity to make their goods there, and we're able to retail them.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
Okay, because you can sell them also in your.
Right.
So what am I going to see in that Italian deli? As an Italian, I want the mortadella. I want all that good stuff.
Yeah,
what are you
going to
have?
That, and we're going to have a lot of different grab and goes, since the city is expanding with our residential down here.
See, and that's the one thing I mentioned to you when we were talking before the show, that with all the apartments coming in, people are going to want grab and go.
Right, and there's nowhere to go. I mean, I live downtown here, and I have lived down here since 2017. And there's really nothing. There's nothing. I mean, if I want to go and get ice cream, I got to walk up to Stewart's. If I want to go get eggs, I go to Stewart's or CVS. There's really nothing around here for us residents. So that was one of the things, after speaking with a friend of mine from high school that used to have an Italian place, and I'm really good friends with Petey Brothers.
Oh, yeah. They're great, yeah.
So I was talking with them, and that's when the whole idea for the deli came in. But we're going to have grab and go. I have a culinary degree. So I graduated from
This guy's got everything. He's got it. And what did you do? You did something in Florida too recently, didn't you? Get a?
I'm applying for my cosmetology license there as well.
You're not going to leave us, sweetheart.
No, I'm not going to leave you, but I might have to go down there and do some educating.
Oh,
So
okay, yeah.
I have people that are begging me to go down there to educate for curly hair. So
okay.
now that the pandemic is kind of slowing up a little bit, where I feel comfortable going to places and teaching, but the deli is just.
So you have a
something-
culinary degree, so you know how cleanliness and all the good stuff that goes with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I right out of high school,
Okay.
I went to Alfred State, and I have my associate's degree in food service. So I owned a restaurant. My last interaction in the food industry has been 1997.
Okay.
So
Well, that was
a
25
long
years
time
ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So the only knife I've picked up in those years have been at home cooking.
So your deli is going to have. Will you have just like if they want milk or butter or stuff? You'll
Yeah,
have
we're gonna
that.
have groceries. We're gonna sell some produce and stuff like that. We're gonna have. I'm bringing in a local guy. It's a client of mine's husband, Rosario, and he is unbelievable. He speaks Italian. He's got some great family recipes. He makes his own ricotta, mozzarella. We're going to be able to do our own meats and stuff like that. So
Okay.
he's got some really great, unique ideas.
Now, will it be like I can go in there and look at these bowls of things and say I'd like a container of that and a container of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We're going to have things that people can grab in the deli counter.
Yeah, in the
and then
deli,
We're going
yeah.
to have things that are going to have where people can
In a
actually
deli,
grab it
yeah.
in a freezer
That was
area
my
or
cane.
just
I'll leave it there.
a grab and go, sandwich coolers. We're going to have desserts. We're going to sell wine or vinegars, oils. Try to get local vendors and people that are in small businesses.
Yeah, let's promote. Let's work together.
That's what I'm trying to do, and
Yeah.
to be able to reduce food waste too. So I'm
Oh,
also
that's such a
want to
horrible
start a
thing.
program where we can interact with local restaurants and facilities that have food as part of their establishment, to be able to say, hey, I've got like a couple gallons of milk here. Do you think you'll be able to cook with it today?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be able to get with it, and I think we can reduce a lot of food waste.
That's
And I would love to put something out where someone can just grab some perishables from the back of my storeroom from the community kitchen.
Yeah.
So I want to work as a community and bring everybody together.
Ron, you have been dedicated to Schenectady, and I've watched you over the years, and I've seen what you've done. And we had some pictures there. Did we show the pictures of at the place? There. Let's bring that one up because I just want to show you. That's the corner that you're at. Now, did I read or did I misread that you're thinking of having art on the side of the building?
Yes.
I love
am
community
so
art.
hoping because, the building used to be owned by Frank Idesico, and Tony Idesico
He's
is
an
his
artist.
son. And actually, I have one of his pieces on my wall in my apartment that he left in that building, signed by him from like 2000.
He's been on my show. He's an maybe.
Yeah,
amazing.
so I reached out to Tony, and we're hoping, we got our fingers crossed that next spring.
You got to get it approved, I guess, and that. Other than that, it's.
But I think it's such a great wall right there where the
Well, it's right parking lot. Yeah,
is.
everybody's going to see it. Just like the one
Everybody.
over at the Habitat for Humanity that
Yeah.
they have up there. It's beautiful. I love
It's
what they're
gorgeous.
doing. Yeah.
And
We need more community art.
That we do, and
Yeah.
we need freedom of it,
Yeah.
let them do whatever they want to do with it. I mean, I had a really cool idea, but, they're saying, would you like to just let them use their artistic expression? And I'm like, just go ahead.
Well, you can throw in a few ideas.
Yeah.
We've been talking with Ron Suriano, and be on the lookout for his new Italian deli, or it's Suriano's Deli,
Suriano's
but
Deli,
with
yeah.
Italian specialties. So he's got it all. When will that be opening?
I'm hoping by November.
Good, I'll be
Yeah,
there.
I'm hoping.
I'll be
Maybe
there.
for my birthday.
Okay, good, good. I'll be watching for it.
Yes.
Thanks, Ron, for
Thanks for
being
having
here,
me.
and I know you got to get to work, so we're going to let you go. So
Thanks for
thank you.
having me, Ann.
We're going to switch over and talk about the Athletic Hall of Fame of Schenectady Schools. Now, that was not Terrace, Linton, Mount Pleasant. Things have changed, the names have changed, but the spirit is all the same, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so I have my three guests here, then we're going to be talking about what's going on. So I'll let you take the lead, Bob.
The 24th Annual Schenectady City School District Athletic Hall of Fame and Reunion Dinner will be on Monday, September 19th at the Event Center at
The Rivers?
Yes.
I was just there for Habitat for Humanity. That's a great space.
It's a great location, and yeah, it's a great ballroom there, so we're looking forward to that. We're going to honor 3 new inductees. Jack Edwards, who was an All-American football player at Mount Pleasant in 1959.
We have a poster of him right over here.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
He, after his senior year, played in the All-American Football Classic in Hershey, Pennsylvania, in front of 23,500 people. He was also sectional champion in the hurdles 5 times, high and low hurdles. Our second inductee will be Ernie Marshall,
That's over there. That's that poster over there.
a great runner at Mount Pleasant in the 1930s. He was actually compared to Olympic champion Jesse Owens.
Really?
Yes, New York paper and local papers.
And right here in Schenectady.
Yeah, he won 2 championships of America at the Penn Relays. He also set sectional records in the 220 and 440 that stood for decades. And he was also national junior AAU champion in the 440. And our third inductee will be Casper Wells. He led Schenectady baseball to 3 consecutive league titles in the early 2000s. He took Schenectady to the state championship final as a senior. After a stellar college career, he was drafted by the Detroit Tigers, played in the major leagues, hit 25 career home runs, including a home run streak of 4 consecutive games. Then we're going to do 2 legacy tributes, and Jack and Mike were parts.
Well, why
of the
don't you
team.
introduce your guests with you?
Jack Boyajian was on
Hi, Jack.
Hi.
3 undefeated tennis teams at Nott Terrace, 1949, 1950, and 1951. And
Wow.
then Terrace won three more years after that, so 6 consecutive years where they won 77 consecutive matches. And then we're going to honor this 1961 Linton football team. Mike was a
Hey, Mike.
key player on that team. No Section 2 team even scored on them. They were dominant. And Mike is in the Hall of Fame as an athlete. In
I know that
football,
you're an athlete, but
basketball,
now he's a
baseball.
legacy. He's going to be
Now he's
legacy.
in the legacy tribute as well.
Oh, great. So, Mike, how did you feel when you were so good out there? Are you still good?
Don't I wish. This 1961 football team was really something special. We had a running back named Ron Oyer, who was an All-American. He went to Syracuse, and he played in the same backfield as players like Floyd Little, Larry Zonka. And the team we had wasn't only Ron Oyer. We had 6 or 7 first-team all-county players. And we had 2 players in Paul Coakley, who was a quarterback, and Rit Wilgocki, who was a fullback, who were so good that had Ron Oyer not been here on our team, they probably would have been nominated for co-players of the year. That's just how good they
That's
were.
how they were really good.
Yeah, and we had 2 great coaches. One was offensive-minded, Dick Lala, and Dom Denio, who was really a legend in this area. He was our defensive coach. And as Bob said, he put together such a defensive strategy that we did not give up a single point locally, but we did give up 33 points against Easton, Pennsylvania.
Oh.
This is a national power. And we went to Easton, and as good as they were, we were only down by 1 point at halftime. And what happened was they just kept bringing in wave after wave after wave of fresh talent.
Oh, okay.
And
They did replacements on the field.
They had a lot of substitutes.
Yeah.
And we had the same lineup pretty much there.
For the whole team.
Yes, and all of our players went both ways.
Yeah.
We played defense and offense. So by the time the third or fourth quarter rolled around, we had nothing left.
Yeah.
And
But you
Ron-
gave it the old
We
try.
gave it the old try, yeah.
Yeah, that's important.
And
Yeah.
they had a huge lineman named Jimmy Jones who weighed over 300 pounds. And to just give you an idea, it's kind of funny. I was an end, and we had another tackle named Lou Gregory. And he wasn't a very small tackle himself. And we would take turns trying to block this 310-pound Jimmy Jones.
That was
So
impossible.
come the third or fourth quarter, I said to myself, I don't want to do this anymore. No.
I want to get hurt.
We were on borrowed time, right. So we had a checkoff play. So when it was my turn to block Jimmy Jones, I would yell a number, and that meant Lou had to block him. And I would hear Lou groan, "Oh, no, not again." So we had some fun with that. We still talk about it
But you're still
today.
talking about it.
Right.
Good. Okay, and let's hear about the tennis. Tell me about tennis.
It's about time.
Whoa!
All these 72 years, they finally acknowledged tennis.
He's talking about us honoring.
Oh, okay. I thought I was getting nailed here. I thought, gee.
I thought I was getting nailed.
Go ahead, Jack.
Well, we just couldn't lose. Every time we played a team, we knew we were going to win. We split high schools, two separate high schools the same afternoon, and shut them out. It was a very minor sport. Nobody cared about it till we started winning and winning.
And they noticed you.
And they noticed me. We made them notice.
Yeah.
We had some great team players and my teammates. Unfortunately, they're not with us.
Yeah.
But we had a good time. They got an all-star team together once in Glens Falls, 3 or 4 schools, to play us because we couldn't find any competition.
You couldn't find any competition.
And we shut them out too. And we went
Wow.
down. We
Did
couldn't-
you think about the Olympics? Did you
What?
did you ever think about going into the Olympics?
No. no.
Okay.
He did play at Syracuse.
Okay. All right.
I did play at Syracuse. I played in the Army also
Okay.
in Japan. And as we get older, the older folks, the more they talk about us, the older we get, the better we used to be.
Well, I love that.
Yeah.
But now I understand that pickleball is supposed to be taking
Yeah,
over
that's
for
the new
tennis.
thing for tennis. But Central Park was our reason for playing.
We had a beautiful tennis
That
court there.
park
It's
was-
gone now,
had
right?
everything you wanted,
Yeah.
everything.
Well, I remember seeing some really big names at the tennis courts at the competition, that one field, or that one court that they had all the
Right.
Yeah,
big.
Right.
17 courts, I think, at one place.
Well, that's one, but then that one where they had the grandstand and everything.
Off-track betting
the stadium,
sponsored that.
yes.
Yeah.
They
brought
had
us
some
top
very good players. They're best in the world.
Yeah, I remember being there and
Yeah.
saying, wow, these are big names. I think that maybe the Vanessa or one of them were there. I don't
Von
remember.
They were all there,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it was really amazing. But that kind of, Singh, I guess, was a woman that, was her name
Yeah.
Singh?
Yes.
Where did that come from?
He used to put it together.
Out of thin air it came out.
He'd know.
Nitty
Yeah.
Singh.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so that, I think it kind of, we lost that a little bit.
Well, after 3 years, we had 39 straight victories, and they went on another 3 years, which I was unfamiliar with, and it's 79 or 77 straight victories. I think it'll never be broken, the record.
So it's never been broken, huh?
I don't know how it could be. We were too good.
They were too good.
They were dominant. It's a little
Yeah.
before my time, but
Better late than never,
and
right?
The irony is, they did win their first 2 matches in 1955 to
Okay.
bring it up to 79, and
Okay.
the team that broke the streak was Mount Pleasant.
Okay.
So the rival broke the streak. So.
Yeah, and there used to be a lot of competition between Mount Pleasant and Nott Terrace. I remember that. I mean, that was like, when there was going to be that, it was going to be.
They were not rivals of us. We shut
Not
them.
with you guys.
The early years,
Yeah.
they beat them easily.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a big thing that, I remember the football games that was
Oh.
like, Mount Pleasant and Nott Terrace are
Exactly.
playing, it was like a big thing,
Yeah.
Of course, I went to Scotia, so, we were just in awe.
The
I
Mount
have my
Pleasant.
old letter from 1949.
So that's your letter. Hand it to me. Let me hold that up. So, how did you keep it so clean?
I don't know. I found it just recently.
Look at that. And I was just saying, there's that letter sweater. I was just telling these guys here that when I was in high school, the guys used to give you a ring, and when I was in high school, if you got their letter jacket to wear, you were really into the thing. Are you showing that? I'm not sure. I'm not seeing it. Am I doing the wrong thing?
It beat the ring around
There
your
it
neck,
is, right. There it is. Okay. Because we got a 3-shot there. But anyways, that's that letter sweater. Can I wear your letter sweater?
Sure.
Oh, boy. I would be happy to do that. But I remember that so much. And I had one with a big S because it was Scotia with crimson and gray, I think, were our colors.
Tartans.
The Tartans.
The tartans. Yeah, we were the tartans, but I think that it was crimson and gold I don't know. Well,
Well,
so far away from high school.
speaking of Central Park, we all lived near there, so the courts were near there.
Yeah.
So we started playing, and they had no indoor courts. We had wooden rackets. The balls were white instead of yellow, and there was no way to play in the winter. So as soon as spring came, we shoveled out the courts and put a rope across it and started playing. We were very competitive with each other. My team.
A rope? Did you try and get it under that rope? You never know. So who can come to this wonderful event?
Anyone.
Anyone.
I mean, there are a lot of alumni that
Yeah,
obviously
the alumni will
back.
come.
It's-
Yeah,
it's
and
like a-
families and
Yeah,
people
well,
to
there'll be
play
families
tribute,
of
yeah.
the various
So, and it's
honorees.
going to be what date?
Monday, September 19th.
Okay, and there is a charge for it, obviously.
Yes, tickets are $65.
And that includes dinner and the entire
Dinner.
evening of events.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
I've got to say, I was just there for the Habitat for Humanity, and the food was great, so everything,
Yeah.
it's a great space.
Yes,
Free parking, too.
yes.
Isn't that nice?
Indoors.
Indoors,
Yeah.
free parking.
Garage.
We don't care if it rains, right?
That's right.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Bob, and thank you, Jack, for being here
You're
today.
welcome.
I'm
Thank you for
very
having us.
happy to meet you and be in the presence of such great athletes.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for having us.
Good. We're going to switch over here. We're going to be talking about the Back Porch Players. This is a new group that has gotten together, and they are now performing in the area here and there. And we're going to find out from Mr. Yes, you're here, Broderson. Yeah,
Broderson.
Jack. Yeah,
Hello, how are you
I had a
today?
Jack over there. I got Jack here now.
Jacks.
Two Jacks.
Two
So
Jacks.
that must be a good hand, right?
Good hand to play.
Good. So tell me about the Back Porch Players and how did you get together?
We, as like-minded, bluegrass, country,
Okay.
western, acoustic players,
We're here.
guitars, banjos, et cetera, we played a lot of jams around. It was just a loose group of like-minded fellows get together and play a little bit. But sometimes everybody does their own thing in a jam, and it gets a little discombobulated. Sometimes it comes out great.
I was going to
sometimes it
say, you
doesn't.
never know until you play it, right?
That's right. So I decided when COVID shut things down a little bit a couple of years ago, I wanted to get together and do a band we're a band, not just 6 or 7.
So you have a
20.
conductor?
Not really. no.
Okay,
I guess I'm the ringleader of the group.
okay.
And we got together and sat down and we do bluegrass and folk and country western and so on and so forth. We have 3 banjos, 3 guitars. Some of us are multi-instrumented, can do both. And we
Little
have
drum
mandolin.
somewhere?
No, no drums.
Okay.
No percussion. It's
No
all
percussion,
acoustic.
okay.
Except sometimes we'll let the bass play an electric thing because the
Okay.
bass keeps everybody on the same.
Well, that's why I
tempo.
mentioned the
That's
drum, because
important.
sometimes the drum does that
Drums
as
will do
well.
the same thing.
Yeah.
In a rock and roll band or a jazz band,
Yeah.
perhaps. I know nothing about those.
You wouldn't know anything about those, but we are going to be talking about a place for jazz on this show, so
I
that's
know
coming
that.
up next.
I know that. I was talking with the folks backstage.
Oh, yeah, Tim
before, so
and
that's
Susan will
cool.
be on
So-
next, yeah.
So we got together and we got 5 or 6 people, all who are better players and singers than I am. I'm not as dumb as I look, I hope, and we've had fun with it.
What do you play?
I play the banjo mostly,
Okay.
a little guitar if necessary. And many of our folks play multi-instruments as well, so we can mix it up with what we do for the folks.
Yeah, I like a banjo. I learned how to play the banjo with the drone, the drone and everything. But I could never get it tuned, so I had to give it up because every time I'd go to tune it, it was like, I just can't do
Why
this.
didn't you call me?
I don't
could tune
know.
it
I didn't
for
have
you.
your number.
Oh, well, you do now.
But I loved the banjo and used to play Bonaparte's Retreat and all those
There you
great
go.
songs,
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like the banjo,
way
too.
back when, yeah.
Everybody either loves the banjo or they don't love the banjo.
Well, that's
My
like the
wife was
accordion,
put
huh?
up-
Is that like
Yeah,
the accordion or the
yeah.
bagpipes?
Yeah, they're nice for a while, but okay. My wife's like that. I've played the banjo around the house for a long time,
Yeah.
and I don't think she cares whether I do or not. But
Okay.
She helps me out greatly.
So where do you perform? I know that you're just starting out and you're doing some performing, so tell me a little bit about
We
that.
have performed at community centers, senior centers, auto club barbecues. We're going to play for your group.
Yep, for Singles Outreach, yeah.
Singles Outreach group in the end of October here,
Right.
middle of October, I think. We're going to do that. And when COVID took over the jams, we lost libraries and schools and things like that. So we had my own.
You'll
little-
pick them up again, though, won't you?
Yeah, I think we will bit by bit. It's growing and growing as people get used to living without masks.
Well, we aren't wearing masks today, but we are being careful because they're doing a little bit of a rehearsal downstairs, and we have to wear masks when we go
That's
downstairs
fine.
for
When
them.
we play for a senior group, where the seniors are residents under there, if we're playing indoors, they want masks. And I get that, I get that.
Well, you can't have an outbreak.
I just can't. So,
And since we can't see the virus,
we
it's
do
kind
that.
of funny
Yeah.
the way you can't see viruses, so you never know where you might be exposed to it. So, yeah.
we
So how
used-
many are in your group? I didn't ask
well,
you.
there are 6 to 8 members in a group. We don't always get everybody for every gig.
Are you
and
looking for
everything.
new members?
Not really. When we
Okay.
play some
Forget it,
members
you
who-
can't come on.
You
It's a
can play-
very exclusive group.
If you play a banjo or a guitar or a bass or a fiddle, talk to me after the show.
Okay.
We'll find room.
We're kidding with
know.
you guys, yeah. But so you're playing, and now you mentioned that you play country western and bluegrass and
Bluegrass.
folk, so tell me some of the titles that you play.
What we like to do for seniors is, well, everybody, excuse me, start off with MTA, because it's a related thing. We play with their age group, and I grew up in
You mean
MTA.
Charlie on the MTA?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I know
that's a
Charlie,
great
yeah.
banjo song.
He's still going, he's still going, isn't he?
Everybody knows it. Yeah, he's still on the train, far as I know. So, we do that, then we do a slower one with Abilene, and so.
Okay.
We have one guy who sings Western croon. He's a crooner for Westerns very well. He
Okay,
does
well,
a
tell me
real
what he
nice
plays.
job.
I love western music, so,
Oh, Abilene.
Oh, yeah.
That type of thing.
yeah, good.
And some
The
Johnny Cash
traditionals,
stuff.
the
Yeah,
traditional.
traditional stuff that the folks in our age group will remember and relate to.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
when you get to a senior group, sometimes, especially if there's memory care involved, music seems to touch them, and they'll know every word to every song.
Absolutely, and it does our hearts great to have a group respond to us. They're tapping, they're clapping their hands, they're singing along, they're tapping. We played at one senior center. It was a community center, actually, and they were having a line dance class right after our group for luncheon. And the line dance class came out, and while we were just doing our regular set,
They started line
they
dancing?
started line dancing with us, completely spontaneous. And it was a great time for everybody. And we had more fun than the group did, I think.
I think you did, yeah.
It was fun.
So you do have some vocalists in there that sing.
We're all vocalists of one form or another.
Okay.
We all sing, mostly singing. I personally like more instrumentals, but even if you do a good job just doing the instrument,
Well, the
It's
one
better to
thing
sing
about
along.
when you sing, and especially when you're dealing with an older group that might be in a residential center, it could be memory care or just plain apartments, like Kingsway has
Absolutely.
both apartments and everything. When you do that, singing seems to bring out the memory that is hidden to some people.
absolutely. And it works that way. And if we can get the people singing along or tapping along, granted, it's a success as far
So
as
how,
I'm concerned.
if someone's interested in probably getting your group to perform maybe at a senior center or wherever, bar mitzvah, who knows, how would they reach you?
Well, Unfortunately, we don't have the wherewithal for a website or a site on the internet type of thing. We'd like to have that, but
Well,
we
it could
don't-
happen, it could happen.
It could happen. We don't charge anybody for anything what we do. If the meals provided are really good, well, we'll
You'll take a
get
you'll take a
meal with
donut or
meal.
two,
Yeah,
right?
we'll take it. Or if the tip box happens to overflow, so be it.
Yeah, well, I think tip boxes are nice because it gives you an opportunity to show a little appreciation for the the performance that you have. I know that you have a number of people that they've been with other groups. You had another group before
Yes.
this.
I didn't have another
Oh.
group, but several of our people who are truly professional in their own groups elsewhere, they come along with us too.
Because you can jam.
Yes.
But you don't jam because you're a band.
Well, when we play together, we're a band.
Okay.
I host 2 jams at the Ballston Community Center and the Malta Community Center.
So anybody can go.
Nothing to do with our band, except some of our members come to these
Yeah.
jams. But we'll get anyway from 7 to 20 people who show up, and we'll do the same things. Strings, acoustic, country, western, bluegrass, folk type of thing.
Yeah, and you have people that have that instrument laying somewhere and saying, I think I'm going to take that out, but they don't want to perform, but they might come to a jam.
I encourage that. There's a lot of us who are closet players, so to speak, that
No, I know that you just
You
don't
know,
you don't
closet.
think you're good enough, but could be.
come on out. We'll carry you along or we'll do it or give it a little help. And if you screw it up, no problem.
Who cares? But it
We're
might
there to have
it
fun.
might be a new sound,
It might be a new song. Absolutely.
right? You got to go with that as well. I think that what you're doing is really great, and the fact that you don't charge because you're trying to get music out to everybody. Not only that, but you're enriching yourself by doing that.
Yes. Yes, it's been a retirement saver for me.
Yeah.
I can't fly airplanes anymore or jump out of them or any of that stuff anymore,
Yeah,
so we do a little picking.
you're doing a little picking and singing,
Picking and
right?
grinning.
A little picking, singing, and grinning. Right,
There
I
you
love
go.
that. Who did that? I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
too,
that was some TV show, I think, that did that.
Hee-haw.
Hee-haw.
That's what
Yeah,
that
that's
was,
right. Oh, my goodness.
Roy Clark and Buck Owens.
Buck Owens and Roy Clark, and
Remember
once in
that?
a while they'd have Minnie,
yeah.
Minnie on the
Minnie,
show with
yeah.
her hat, with her tag hanging down. So, well, I'm glad that you're carrying on the tradition of music. Not only that, but I call this more of a traditional music that you're playing. That it's standard. I guess standards
Yes,
might be a
it
better
is.
word.
The songs have all been done before.
And everybody knows the words, and they feel
Yes.
comfortable with it. And the singers, I'm sure, the ones that are maybe in the decline of their memory, are going to really relate to what you do.
We do.
Yeah,
We do
good.
just that.
Jack, thanks so much for being
Thanks
here.
a lot for having
Yeah,
us. I
and keep
appreciate
on picking and singing
Picking
and
and
whatever
grinning.
you're doing.
We're
Yeah,
gonna do it.
Yeah, keep doing it. We're going to talk about jazz now. My goodness, we went from kind of picking and singing. Do you guys pick and sing?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I'm not sure I'd tell you what I picked.
You pick good players.
Yes, that's for sure.
To come. Susan Brink is with us as well as Tim Coakley. And Tim, you have a radio show too, and you're involved with radio too, aren't you?
WOOC, yes.
Yeah, that's over the media sanctuary.
Right.
Yeah. And Steve he's still there, right, Steve?
Still there.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And his wife was helping him too, right?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, I'm just a little digressing here, excuse me. So Tim, you're going to be at SUNY now, right?
Yes, we're trying
I think
to
you
do
were there
things.
last year, were you?
Well, we did a concert earlier this year.
Okay.
To try it out, to see
Okay.
how it go. And so,
Because you were at the Universalist Church.
Yes.
Or Society, I'm sorry.
yeah, Unitarian Universalist Church.
Yeah.
There were some COVID issues there this year, which prompted us to
Get a bigger,
try out the
bigger
community
space.
college. Yeah.
yeah, although they had a big space too, but
Oh, it was a nice space,
they
yeah.
had their own situation there.
Yeah, their space is beautiful, and we love the Whisper Dome.
Uh-huh.
But because of COVID, it was very restricted extremely restricted. And we found that the seating and the arrangement at SUNY Schenectady, it was a better fit for us this year. It's a good partnership. We're
Yeah.
able to do workshops and expand a little bit.
Right. Well, to me, you bring in first-class performers. And I know we have a screen there with all of the performers that are coming up. If you can bring that up, let's have Tim and Susan talk about who's performing. And I put dates on there as well, so
good.
so you knew when it was. So could you kind of run it through for us?
Well, we're starting this week, September 9th.
Yeah, and that's the one in the upper left, I guess, if
You
you're
are
looking at the
featuring,
screen.
trombonist Steve Davis and his sextet, which is a very swinging group. They have a brand-new CD out called, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a really good one. I've played it on my show a couple of times.
Uh-huh.
Confluence, I think.
Yeah. The next to that is, I can't see the dates, but anyways, we have the next one over on to the right of that
Yes,
is your next date.
Jeffrey Keyser?
Jeffrey Keyser is a pianist, and he's bringing a fine vocalist with him, Jillian Margot. And what's interesting is that usually during the beginning of the year, when we start to think of who we're going to get and make suggestions, we often think of people bringing in the names of certain vocalists that they want. But in this case, he's bringing a vocalist for us, so we didn't have to decide.
You didn't have to think about teaming up them with someone
That's
else.
right, yeah.
And we have some great vocalists in the area, too.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, there's no question
Some of them will
about
no doubt be in the audience when,
Yeah,
when
and
they
then
perform.
who do we have in October?
Let's see. Joel Ross. Susan knows more about him than I do.
Yeah, the Joel Ross Quintet is on October 7th, and he's a blue note artist, he's a vibraphonist, and he's been on top of the Downbeat Critic poll many times, and he's been mentored by Stefan Harris from Albany,
Uh-huh.
so there's a local connection there. And we're very excited to have him. He's going to have with him Emmanuel Wilkins, who's a pianist of amazing proportions. We're excited
These
about
are
that.
really top-notch performers.
These are all top-notch. They all tour all over the world. They've studied with the best. They've played with the best. Some are at the beginnings of their career with just a few albums, and some are heavy hitters, like the next artist, Bobby Watson. Bobby Watson will be here October 21st. You want to talk about Bobby Watson, Tim?
Well, he's another musician who played with a great many famous bands like Art Blakey's Jazz Messengers and some other bands that recorded for Blue Note Records, and he's sort of carrying on that tradition. He's an alto saxophonist. He's going to be bringing an outstanding group, and it'll be a quartet, I believe, and we're looking forward to him especially. We mentioned before that some of the musicians do a little clinic before their concerts. Steve Davis is doing one this week.
And now, what would the clinic be for? I mean, who would attend that is what I guess what I'm looking
Well,
at.
it's mainly for music students, young
Okay.
aspiring.
You mean at the college or
Yes.
anywhere?
We've invited people in from other schools in the area.
Even a high school?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Because Schenectady Jazz Band, they have a really good,
Absolutely.
yeah.
We used to take our visiting musicians to different schools each time. You know, Schenectady High, Niskayuna High.
Yeah,
and
but
so
now
forth.
that you're at a college
And we have the
setting.
music department there. They're very excited to have us do these clinics there. And we're inviting students from other schools around town to come down and attend the clinics. They're free. There's no charge for that.
So now, I know that we've just concluded the Jazz on J, because
Right.
we've done that, and there's different music. So when we talk about jazz, because there's a lot of, I guess, preconceived ideas about jazz. We
for
have
sure.
Dixieland jazz, which
Right.
is one kind of jazz. So when we talk about jazz, are we talking about like jamming jazz, or what are we talking about?
What are we talking about?
What are we talking about, Tim?
I think it's all of the above, right?
There are many rooms in the Jazz House, many rooms, and to try to categorize it.
Just to come and enjoy the music,
but
right?
That's the thing. You come, you enjoy the music. The music that we do here is not far out. You're not going to have a lot of squeaking and squonking. You're going to understand it. Mm-hmm. And you're going to enjoy it. You can't
Yeah.
help but enjoy it.
Well, I always think, when I think about jazz, I think about going out for dinner and there's this music in the background, or you go to a jazz club or something like that. And the music is always non-intrusive, I guess is the word I would use. It's there and you get to appreciate it. It doesn't overwhelm, but it adds to what your experience.
And this is a concert. So, yes, people will be listening. They will be entertained. It's
Yep.
live. And it's so important to appreciate, to enjoy live music.
Right.
It's not the same thing as having a screen in front of you, so yeah.
Now, you charge for this, right?
Yes,
So
definitely.
can we talk about that? How much do they charge? You're a nonprofit organization, we can talk about fees, yeah.
Concerts are $20,
Okay,
and we do have the COVID restriction of wearing a mask.
okay.
And some
You're
social
protecting the performers.
Wear a
And the
mask,
audience, yes.
social distancing, come and have a great time, enjoy
Yeah.
the music, enjoy the
Are,
performers.
now, is free parking available?
Yes.
Oh, the
Okay.
spacious parking lot down there. was
Yeah,
one
and
of the
especially since
assets.
it's on, when is it, when are they on?
Friday nights.
Nights, so therefore, there's classes, there may
Right.
be some classes on, but
Right.
it's not a full parking lot full.
Yeah, it's really nice to have that parking.
And I wanted to mention Peg Delaney Big Band will be there November 4th.
Peg Delaney,
Yeah, and we
band,
didn't
yeah.
mention her. She's got a wonderful big band coming up, 18-piece.
18 pieces.
It's a
Yeah.
big band.
Big
In the
band.
literal sense of the word. I'm looking forward to that because she's been such an inspiration to local
Absolutely.
musicians for a long time. She's written a bunch of tunes. She's made arrangements. She's doing rehearsing with these guys. It's going to be a dynamite way to close out the season.
Isn't that great to have a band? Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And of course, band music, there's not, I mean, we don't hear a lot. I mean, there are some, George Wonders, there's a number of bands out there.
Sure.
But it's not as popular as it was, say, in the 40s when there was all these great bands out there that, you know,
Sure.
that were Tommy Dorsey Band and Glenn Sanders. I'm sorry, Glenn Miller.
It's not the popular music of this day, but it's coming back.
Yeah.
People are dancing, people are going and hearing the big band. We've got Cliff Brucker.
Oh, Cliff is doing some good stuff. He's appearing over at the Linda, I think, I heard.
Yeah,
Yes.
with Dylan Canterbury and,
Steve Weiss,
yeah.
those guys. That's
Yeah.
a good band.
Yeah, he just started that up recently because
This
I know
year.
I had him on the show previously and we talked
Right,
about
yes,
that.
yes.
It's fun music. It's fun music. And
Yeah. Isn't
it's-
all music? I mean, we just recently here the last guest we were talking about folk and the banjo and the traditional bluegrass and stuff. There's a place for almost every music. I mean, when you think about here at Proctor's, not only do we have the musicals, but we also have the Eighth Step performing here, and then they bring in another arena of music.
We've got an embarrassment of riches in the capital region.
Isn't that
in
amazing?
Schenectady, an amazing amount.
So
of
we're talking
wonderful
music, we talk about theater, we're going to be talking with the theater group next. But it's amazing how enriched we are. And I will just say this, I have a friend that moved from here. They lived here all their lives, but they wanted to be closer to their family, so they moved to Nebraska. They were sadly disappointed. They said there's nothing here where they were, which was, we're talking Lincoln. So we're not talking a shabby little town.
Right, right.
They said there's just not what we have here in our community.
A few years ago, there was a valve trombonist named Phil Allen who moved here from out west, and he formed a big band that played at the Lark Tavern in Albany.
Uh-huh.
And the thing he said to me was he was amazed that if he needed a trumpet player to fill in or a trombonist or a
Oh, yeah.
saxophone, he could call any number of people in the capital region. He said there are so many good musicians here. And he was impressed with that because it was different from where he came from.
Exactly. And then you talk about Proctor's, when they bring in these big Broadway shows, they have a bass orchestra, but they need other
People from our
pieces.
local union, absolutely, they're playing in the pit.
that are playing in the pit.
Yeah.
And it's not the pits.
Okay, I threw you that one.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we make sure that they know what we're talking about, but we're talking about the orchestra pit as well. So I want to thank you both for being here, and I hope that you have a huge, wonderful attendance to this. I mean, COVID, we're looking at
Yes.
COVID, but still a huge audience that comes in and supports this wonderful program that you have. It is called A Place for Jazz, and it's your fall concert series, and you have five. Five, yeah.
And you can go to aplaceforjazz.org if you want to get tickets.
Yep, and you have a website.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, good.
That's it.
Thank you both for
Thank
being
you,
here.
Ann.
It's always a pleasure to have you both here. So keep the music coming. We're going to talk about theater next. Oh my goodness, I love theater. That's my favorite, is going out to a good play or a good musical. And Once is one of those. Hey, good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah,
been a
it's
couple
nice
months.
Yeah, a couple months. Hi, thank you for being here as well. And we're talking with James, and you're the director, right?
Yes.
And Emily, you're in it,
I
right?
am.
What part do you play? I know that it's a play about music in it's sort of a bar setting, right? No, a music store. Is it a music store?
It has various settings.
Yeah,
Those
okay.
It does take place in a bar and a music setting in Dublin in general.
Yeah.
And I play the part of the girl. That is her name. It's just girl.
Girl, no
The guy's
name,
is
no
just
name,
guy.
girl. Yeah.
No names.
It's awesome that we actually got to be part of this particular show, which was so much about music.
Oh my
because
gosh, we've been talking music today, haven't
exactly. Once is very much there's so many lines in the show about how it's about the music. It follows a guy who's a busker, a street musician in Dublin who's given up on music, and how he meets Girl.
Hello, Girl.
Who sort of reignites a love for that, a love for music and love in general. But I think an important theme of that, something that Girl herself says, is that it's not about me. It's not about the love story. It's about the music. And so you get this, the score is all this traditional Irish folk, the kind of thing that people would gather together to sing on their porch or sing in a bar together. If anyone watching the show who of Irish heritage is going to recognize a lot of the style of music, and maybe some things that our actors / musicians will be playing at the start of the show.
So you have musicians that are playing, is that correct?
Hey,
I mean, obviously you have to have musicians that are playing, but
So,
are they on stage?
One of the most unique things about this show is that the cast of actors is also their own pit. So we have a lot of great.
Well, how did you, okay, you're the director, how did you even find these people?
They found
They have
us.
to be actors and musicians.
Absolutely. We have some actors, some people will recognize, some of them are new to our stage for the first time, who play the banjo, the bass, we have one actor who straps himself into a cello and does a whole choreographed number with his cello.
Get out.
We have people,
Get out, stop.
100% true. We have people who learned the mandolin for this. If you haven't heard an accordion in a while, we have the wonderful Kim Kilby, who learned the accordion.
You need an
for this
accordion
show.
with Irish music.
With that
too.
Irish folk, it's
Yeah.
such an important sound.
Yeah.
And I wish I could say I called up all of the people I know, but we put out the ad and they showed up. 100%.
Wow.
We needed actor musicians who could
And
move,
they have to move too.
and they all came in droves.
Yeah, I've seen one, so I know that there's a lot of movement with that.
I am thoroughly impressed every time. They're the hardest working cast in New York. Broadway doesn't get that anymore. That's what I say.
So Emily, yeah, tell me. Now, this isn't your first production here, is it?
It's not. My first production was Slock was 1776.
Okay.
And I was in that with James.
Yes, we were in
Okay.
that together.
Which was exciting. And then I music directed a couple of shows for them, but I haven't been on stage for a couple of years.
So how does it feel?
It's a wonderful feeling. I love this cast and I love the show. I think it has this family feeling that I think the audience is going to feel as soon as they walk into the house even. It's just this wonderful vibe, and I'm very excited to share it.
Yeah. So how long have you, now do you sing in this at all?
Yes.
Oh, you do, you sing? Okay,
Yes, I
good.
play piano and I sing, and Nick Foster plays Guy, and we sing some beautiful
So it's
duets.
guy and girl.
Yes.
No names, huh?
Well, and again,
This is a no-name show.
It's all to emphasize that, one, anyone can relate to these characters. They're not specific people. The show was written by Irish folk duo Glenn Hansard and Markéta Iglosa, I believe. Markéta is Czech, and they made the movie together back in 2007, and then did the score for this. But a point that they made when the show came out, and that I think the show draws attention to, is that they're named Guy and Girl so that
Anybody
can
could be,
imagine
yeah.
themselves
Yeah.
in these positions. And again, it's not about them.
It's about the
It's
music.
about what they make, and that's what's beautiful about it.
Yeah. So how many are in the cast?
Well, we've got a cast of Technically 13.
Okay.
But not every, well, no, she plays an instrument too, doesn't she? We have our.
Somebody will play the kazoo, I'm sure.
No, we have our cast of musician actors, but we're also lucky enough to have Emily's daughter in the cast as well.
Your daughter's in the
Yeah.
cast. How does she feel about being in the cast with her mom?
Oh, she's 6 and she loves it. This is her first big stage experience.
But what a
and she's
wonderful
loving it.
experience for her.
Yeah, I'm very grateful.
This
to
is
have this
a
opportunity
wonderful
with her.
experience for her to be on stage, see what her mom does. You know, I mean, this is not what you do all the time, but this is what you do, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're doing now, and she can see that. And to me, I'm going to digress just a bit. We don't bring our kids early enough to live theater, I don't think. When you stop to think that live theater is so important because the audience is part of the production, and yet somehow we just stick them in front of a TV or a movie, like bring them.
There's just so much you get out of being in the room with the people, watching them create it in front of you. How live theater is different every time. It's not like a recording.
Because the audience might be different.
Exactly. Oh gosh, every time I've recorded a production that I was involved in, we always get the worst audience show. You know, like they happen to record the audience that's.
Oh no!
You know, I know. It's just always.
Do you have a soundtrack? You just pump it up a little bit with the audience. Yay!
But
do like they do on TV.
I cannot wait for audiences to experience this. It's so moving. Like Emily said, the family feeling, you get it from the moment. We recently had Labor Day, and we had given the cast off of rehearsal for the holiday.
Sure.
They showed up anyway to work on tunes, to jam out, because so many of them have expressed to me at different times, this is where I want to be. This is what I love doing, is making this with these people.
So who's doing the set? Because I'm always interested. Because your performance is great, but you need a set.
Yeah,
So let's give a shout out to the set and the producer.
Our set designer was, her name's Molly Waters.
Okay.
She's also our stage manager. And then it was built by Sharon Wemple and her team. Barb Farquharson helped us a lot with that.
Bob is a great guy.
And our producer, who I believe you've been in contact with, is Micaela Torres.
Yeah, I know. She's been on the show, yeah.
She is, if I've got my head in the clouds, she's the anchor keeping me weighted to reality, because there's so much I just let go while I'm focused on the artistic things, and she keeps everything in the boxes on the track that it needs to be on.
And that's what a producer does.
What
I say should do.
The best producers are people like Micaela, who just make things happen, and also Molly as the stage manager, just keeping the cast up to date with everything, keeping everything moving forward.
And anticipating.
And
always anticipating.
And filling all the boxes that I don't even notice. Community theater, like so many things, it's just that. It's community.
Well, and none of you are getting paid. I mean, this is your love. The fact that you're doing it because you love to do it gives so much heart to every production.
Again, I can't wait for people to see it so they can see the love, the amount of love that comes from Nick, that comes from Emily, as they perform this wonderful music and they perform it together.
So what are there any COVID restrictions? I know that, some places it's like no mask, sometimes it's wear a mask, and be vaccinated. I mean, and I just had to write one up recently for an organization. So this is tough to do.
It's tough to negotiate through having big crowds in places. SLOC does require that you are vaccinated in order to attend. You will wear a mask through the entirety of the performance.
Because you're protecting the performers.
Yes.
It's just like recently with, I think, Cap Rep, they had to cancel a couple productions because COVID.
Yes, they had COVID,
Jersey Boys, I think it was.
Yes, run through the cast of Jersey Boys, which it's so hard to keep everyone truly safe. I mean, you can have everybody safe in the theater, and then they go out into the world, and there's only so much you can do. But SLOC has gone above and beyond in making sure that we stay safe, that we don't spread it to each other.
Right.
And that when our audiences come, that they don't spread it to us or within the audience.
Within the audience.
Because that's always what it's going to be. You go to a big crowded
Well,
place.
you don't know. Like we were saying, you don't see the virus, so we don't know where it is, first of all. But one of the things, I know we're in practice right now, we're in the GE Theater, and I know that they have changed all their filtration systems to make sure that the air is circulated and cleaned and through HEPA filters and things like that. So everybody's trying to do things to do the right thing.
Yes.
And I know that they're going to be safe if they come to you.
Yeah.
And so will the cast, because you got to do another performance, so you can't. Do you have understudies? I mean, how's that work?
No. If something happens, it will likely cancel the performance for the week. But I can say that SLOC very proudly was one of the very few community theaters in the region last year that didn't have to cancel a single performance.
That's great.
And that's all thanks to the regulations and upkeep that they do to keep everyone safe.
Due diligence.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I do have to say that I saw, I think it was Nonsense or one of those at SLOC many years ago, and one of the main characters got sick. This woman took over with a book in her hand,
Sure.
but acted it out beautifully. You didn't even notice that she had
When it's a labor of love, that's
and I was like, I almost forgot that she wasn't, it wasn't her part, but she was doing it. It was amazing. So I've got to say, the show does have to go on.
It always does.
Yeah.
And we've certainly hit our little speed bumps along the way, but the show always goes on.
It does go on. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're making it go on. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we've been talking with James Alexander and Emily Rose, and you've both been on the show before, so it's such a pleasure to have you on and know that you keep the music going, right?
Thank you very much.
Third one in a row today doing that. I want to tell you who's going to come on our next show. Our next show is going to be filmed on September the 21st. We're going to be talking with an author who's talking about confronting the bomb, which is, I'm really looking forward to meeting Lawrence Whitner there. Also, Harbinger Theater is going to be on, and they're doing Andy and the Orphans, which has a really interesting plot, and we'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about quilts, which they're having a big autumn inspirations coming up. And then we're going to be talking with the Schenectady Civic Players, and they're going to be talking about their murder mystery theater. And then Terrace Kitchen will be here talking about her initiative and her expansion and all the good things that she's doing and her great sauces. So please, join us for our next production. I'm Ann Perillo, your host for Capital Region today, and we've got such a great group. I want to back up, if you can back up the screen. We're going into our 25th year. This is our 24th anniversary. Those are some photos of the people that have been with us over the years, and I grabbed a few shots to let you know that this is a labor of love as well, and none of us are being paid. They come and they enjoy meeting each other and being here to put the show together, and I want to give a big shout out for them as well as for Open Stage Media, who supports us. I also want to give some recognition to three people. One is Jay Perner. He was with us for quite some time and worked with Greg, and he passed away unexpectedly. Nina Rindinella was with us. I think she was 90-some-odd years old when she passed away, but she was with us right up to almost the very end. And Greg Millette was with us as well. He was our technical director, and he was the guy that was with us for the entire 24 years. Or, well, not 24 years, but 20, maybe 18 years because he passed away. So I do want to give a shout out for those people that were behind the scenes. Every one of them are dear to my heart. They come here and they help. They never complain. Maybe I do, but they never complain. And I want to give a shout out to them. And we do have a list of their names coming up there. And please know that we're always looking for volunteers, but these people that are listed here are the people that come and help us. And like I said, they're not paid. None of us are paid. I'm not paid. We just do this as a labor of love, just like Schenectady Light Opera just did on their show, and maybe many of the other organizations. But thank you for watching our Capital Region today, and I'm Ann Perillo, your host.